There are so many in-ear monitors in the world today, from super cheap ones to mediocre ones to really expensive ones. Finding the best in-ear monitor as a musician or singer is really tough nowadays because there are just so many options and so many brands just popping up out of nowhere. So today I'm wanting to help any of you musicians and singers trying to find the best in-ear monitors at every price point. So I've been in the professional music industry for over 12 years now, doing studio sessions, going on tours, doing just about anything you could think of. And the one piece of equipment that I see almost every musician have is a good pair of in-ears. Now, if you're wondering why you need to buy them, let me just give you a few reasons why they're so vital. One is ear protection. If you know anything about monitoring in the music world, you sometimes see these things called wedges, which are these speakers that point at you, which are really awesome because they let you hear yourself. If the crowd's too loud, if the drums are too loud, you can be pushing a lot of volume to your ears and be hurting your ears. So one of the first things that in-ears do is protect your hearing. Now, to give you an example of kind of my lifestyle, I probably use my in-ears about 3 to 4 times every single week. So I'm a pretty heavy user of them. And a lot of times when I'm in live settings, the amount of sound on stage is pretty loud. So if I didn't have the in-ears, I'll be losing hearing each and every time that I played, especially when you do it 3 to 4 times a week. Now, the second reason to get in-ears is complete control of sound. Now, if you've played with a wedge before and it's in your ears, all it takes for you to lose control of how loud it is to have a heavy-handed drummer playing on drums and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't hear anything, turn it up. And they're like maxed out and you're like losing hearing, not just from the drums, but also from your monitor as well. And so what this allows for you to do is to actually control that sound, dial in the tone. If the drums are too loud, you can turn them down. If the bass is too loud, you can turn it down, or you can turn it up. If you can't hear enough of it, you need some more, detail out of it. You can pan them, have complete control and get a nice visual image of what's happening on the stage. So number 3, hear what you need to stay on track. Now, I didn't make this point to kind of do like a double meaning, but it does have a little bit of a double meaning because nowadays, most bands, artists, touring musicians have some form of track or click or guide anytime you're playing. And that's something that you don't want the audience to hear. You just want yourself to hear, to kind of give you these like kind of cues. So when you're in a song or doing something, be like, hey, chorus. All right, hey, this is that band hit. Hey, this is that, line you got to sing or that moment you got to do. But you don't want the audience to hear that because if they hear it, then it kills the moment. And so what in-ears allows you to be able to do is not have that go through the wedge and everybody hear it. But now you can have these cues in your ear. So it just feels like you always know exactly what you're going to do because you have a cue in your ear. Now, the last one would be better stage mobility. And basically all that means is that you can get around the stage easier and just go. And if you have a really, involved show, you can go jump off a speaker, do whatever you want to do in your concert without losing what you're hearing. Now, if you ever used wedges before on stage and you're trying to move around on stage and different things like that, what happens is that as soon as you get out of that line where the speaker's projecting, you lose your mix. And so it becomes harder to hear all the stuff that you make in that wedge speaker to make a mix. But what in-ears do is they help you to keep your mix no matter where you are on stage. Now, this would be, connected to a wireless in-ear pack or something like that. And you could just pretty much walk around like normal, go down a catwalk, you can go on a really huge stage, you could go, jam with the drummer, jam with the guitar player, whatever it is you're doing, and have complete mobility wherever you are on stage. Today's video is sponsored by flexispot. If you've kept up with my videos the past 6 months or so, you probably noticed that I had a renovation here in my office. But the one thing my office was lacking from that renovation was a studio quality office chair. Finding a good office chair for your studio desk can be tough, especially with having to do tasks like playing an instrument or sitting for long periods of time. I winded up going with this flexispot C7 Max ergonomic office chair, and it has been a game changer for me. This chair was easy to put together straight out of the box. It included all the tools needed, and I was able to do it by myself. Some of the features that I really didn't think would be a big deal for me, but are actually my favorite features now, are the adjustable headrests that will adjust up to your head no matter how tall you are, and the movable armrests that make it easy to play an instrument without bumping into the chair. This chair also gives a lot of lumbar support to help you have optimal posture when working. This chair is extremely comfortable and allows for me to sit long periods of time without restriction. So if you're in the market for a high quality office chair, check out my link in the description below with all of the specs of my flexispot office chair. Now, let's get back to the video. So when you're looking for in-ears, there are a couple of things that you need to know about in-ears and how they work so you can find the best one. First thing you need to know about is what drivers are. Anytime you look up any in-ears, you're gonna see something about, oh, this has, 3 drivers, 2 drivers, single driver. And honestly, whenever I was first looking up in-ears and stuff at the very beginning, I was like, what in the world are drivers? I had no idea what they are, but it's really, really simple. All they are basically speakers that are in your headphone, in your in-ear. Because what happens is that they have these little speakers in there so they can push out volume to your ears. But the thing that gets confusing a lot of times is like, okay, what if you have 3 drivers? What if you have 10 drivers? What is that doing? Why is that better? I'm about to get a little nerdy here, so hopefully y'all stay with me. So when you have a single driver in a headphone, it sends the entire frequency band, all the lows, all the mids, all the highs or whatever, going through one speaker, okay, in your headphones. That's what we call a single driver headphone. So basically when you have 2 drivers, you may have one driver working with the low and mids, and then one driver working on the highs, and it splits up the work that the driver has to do and gives you a little bit more of headroom in your mix to be able to get a more clarity out of your headphones. What happens is that the more drivers you have, essentially the more quality of sound that you have going to your ears, but that's not always the case. The thing is that they are not as important as you think when it comes to having a great mix. Drivers don't fix mixes. Now it may be a little bit more transparent, it may have a lot more headroom, and the quality of sound may be just a little bit better each time you get more drivers, maybe, depending on what kind of mix you like, but you can still get an incredible mix with not a crazy ton of drivers, which we'll talk about later. So there's 2 types of fits you need to know about when it comes to in-ears. First is the one you probably have seen before, which is the kind of the universal fit, where it will fit into anybody's ear. So this one's a foam one, and the way these are really cool because if you have one, you can just squeeze it and then stick it into your ear, and it'll, expand in your ear to kind of create a seal. And what I mean by a seal is where it seals off any sound from coming into your ear outside of what the in-ear is sending to your ear. This is just one of them. There's other ones where they're rubber and where they just automatically just fit in there without you having to like squeeze the foam or anything. Now, if let's say you're having a problem with it sealing, you could buy some more tips, some more in-ear pieces that you can find them on Amazon, Sweetwater, anywhere like that. Now, if you still have an issue with your universals coming out of your ears and not sealing, then you can go to what they call the custom molded fit. Now, these are my custom molds. I've had a couple of these before, and basically what these are a custom mold of the inside of my ear. One of the main things I love about these custom molded fits is that when you put them in your ear, they're almost always gonna have a complete seal, and it's like the best seal that you can get out there. That's the reason why I always suggest that if you're a musician or a singer that tours, you need to have at least one pair of these in your arsenal because they are just so perfect for protecting your hearing for a long period of time. Now for the part of the video that I'm sure you guys have been waiting for, What type of in-ears do singers and musicians need? Now, the way I'm gonna approach this is I'm gonna give you ones at 3 different price points. One at the cheaper end, which is the low end, and then medium range, kind of that mid-tier level, and then a high and expensive, range for my guys that tour often. On the $30 range, $30 to $50 range, we're gonna have the KZs. I'm sure if you have gotten started with in-ears before, you probably heard of this brand. It's on Amazon. I'm not sure if, I've never actually been to the website. Anytime I've gotten them, they've been on Amazon. But they're about like $30 to $50, and they have like single driver, dual driver, and triple driver headphones for under $100. And they actually don't sound that bad. I've seen many professional musicians use these, and they sound great. I've even had a couple pair myself. They actually sound really good for, a $30 to $50 headphone. The one thing I don't love about these, when it comes to using them on the road as much as I do, the reason why I don't use them today is because they broke. Not that they didn't blow or anything like that. It's just because I just used them so much that the pieces just started falling off of it. And I was just like, okay, well, I don't think this is gonna be something I can use on the road that often. That was only just like maybe 4 months into using it. But it doesn't mean that they are ones that you should avoid. Don't avoid these. These are great headphones, especially if you play in church, or if you're not touring that often, or if you want a backup set of in-ears that are just in your bag. KZs are great. Now, the headphones that I see most times, and the ones that I've used for years now, that you guys probably know about if you know anything about in-ears, which are Shure 215s. Shure 215s are probably the headphone, the in-ear that I've seen almost every musician or singer have. That doesn't mean that they love them. It doesn't mean that they really, these are their favorite pair. What it is that they're just solid. They're just solid, okay? But they're just not, the sound quality could be better. And for example, that's what these are right here. These are my Shure 215s that I always have in my base case, just in case something happens to my custom molds. Honestly, they're just a solid pair that I've had as a backup, and I actually used them for quite a bit of time because I was in between headphones and I wasn't home enough to go and get some new headphones and different things like that for my customs. And so I used them for quite a bit of time, as my main set for a while. Now, I don't love them as far as when it comes to getting a good seal in my ears and things like that. If it gets sweaty and stuff, they can sometimes slip out, but they're just solid. So if you want to try something on the low end, I would definitely say try the KZs or try the Shure 215s because they're both very solid pairs of in-ears. And just like I do with all my videos, all these in-ears will be linked in the description below if you're interested. All right, so now let's talk quickly about the median range in-ears. Medium range price-wise for me is about $300 to $600. I will say whenever I was first getting into in-ears, just hearing that in-ears could go up to $600 was just like, what? $600 for headphones? I was like, I was so shocked. The thing is that it really is the median range when it comes to these. Now, some ones that I have used and heard of before are Shure 535s and All Clear ST3 triple driver in-ears. These are kind of like the two pair that I would say are really in that mid-range. But if I were to choose one, of these two, I would probably choose the All Clear ST3 triple driver because they offer a custom mold. And what's really cool is that if you get a custom mold, you're gonna have that seal and it's gonna already just peak out just the quality that the headphone, you can really hear every bit of quality from those headphones when you have those custom molded fits. 3-driver headphones is a great place for singers and musicians to have. It's probably the place where I feel like most singers, when they get to triple driver headphones, they're just like, okay, this feels great. You really notice a pretty significant difference when you're going from a single driver to a triple driver. All Clears is the one I see on the road all the time. And for every person that I know that has them, they love them and have been using them for years. And just like I said before, I'll link these in the description so you can check out all the specs on them. Now on the high end of this spectrum is gonna be the $600 to $3,000 plus range, okay? I say $3,000 plus because there are some out there that are like $6,000 in-ears. Now, I don't know why you would need $6,000 in-ears. I can't even tell you why you would need that much. Usually around, when you get to this price range, you're starting to get to the 6 to 9 to 12 driver range when it comes to drivers and such. The times that you notice a difference, okay, is when you go from a dual driver to a triple driver, and then from a triple driver to a 6 driver, in my opinion. When you go from a triple driver to a 6 driver, it makes a difference. But I will say, if you're trying to get a high-end driver, where I would start is at 6 drivers, okay? 6 driver headphones are really great. They have a pretty even, amount of just like distribution when it comes to the drivers and things like that, at least from when I listen to them, any pairs that I've used before. So when it comes to the high end, the ones that I would suggest are the all clear ears and 64 ears. When you're really getting a good pair of like 64s, 6 drivers is where you want to start. And that's where I always notice the biggest difference. And then also the same with all clear, 6 driver headphones. They have this new Prestige line that actually I own. I'm not gonna lie, they're a little bit pricey, but they also have a 6 driver within this range that is actually cheaper than a lot of 6 drivers out there, and they have a great sound. Now, if you're getting a high-end in-ear, you're probably a touring musician. You probably are somebody who really wants high quality sound and something that's very durable. To end this whole side of this right now, there are a lot more brands than what I mentioned, tons more brands. But the thing is, these are the ones I'm the most familiar with and the ones that I have personally used. And so that's the reason why I wanted to just give you these options that I have experience with. Now, there's a ton of brands out there and that you can try, you can, check out if they have a, lower price, but these are probably the ones that have been stable over the past 10 or so years. So that's the reason why I'm sharing these with you, because they are the ones that are kind of stood the test of time when it comes to as far as brands go. 2 things that you should look at when it comes to finding a good in-ear is the sound quality. If it sounds really great, that's one thing. But the other thing is that if they have good customer service. And I will say that's the reason why I love All Clear, because they're at that stage where they're a pretty, sizable company, but they're not too big to where their customer service really takes a hit. Their customer service is really, really great. And if you live in Nashville, they have a physical location here where I could just take my in-ears to go get them cleaned or get them fixed or repaired or anything. That's really, really cool that not many places have. And I will say that has been a game changer having these headphones. Now, if you're interested in All Clear Prestige series, I'll have them linked in the description below. So all of these suggestions for in-ears are ones that I've personally used over the years and ones that I know about and brands that I trust, And so if you know of other brands, there are tons out there, and I didn't mention them. I know I didn't get to hit on every single of the gajillion brands out there, but these are the ones that I trust and the ones that I actually like. And honestly, the ones that I see on the road all the time. Now, if you don't believe me, I did this little test on tour where I asked different musicians and singers what in-ears that they use. So let's see what they said. Logan, what ears are you using?
These are Amazon Special.
Amazon Special. Let me see the logo.
All right.
The All Clears. That looks sick.
I'm using SC215s. Good customs are really expensive, and so I've just kept buying a new pair of these every time they break. And at this point, I probably could have just bought a really nice pair of customs, because I've spent $700 replacing these every 2 years. So.
Every 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm using 1964, I think, right?
64?
Yeah, 64. I think I got the ones with 4 or 5 drivers in them.
So, Cam, what ears do you have?
I have 64 audio, the Nathan E Signature series. Nate in 8.
Let me see what they
But
look
it's 9
like.
drivers, so.
9 drivers.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like.
I got them pretty simple.
Oh, look at, hold on. Yeah, there we go.
Just kind of flesh colored.
So I just got these ears today. This is actually my first time using them at a concert. I got my logo on there. I don't know if y'all could see that. And I got like the brown inserts just so it just matches in whenever I put it in my ear. Oh, so look at that. See how it looks? So I always know which one is mine. Wow, I feel like I went deaf in that ear just putting that in.
I'm using the Shure, the basic. This one is on its last leg right now. I turn my head, it shorts out. So.
KZ from Amazon. $70.
$70.
On sale. I had a coupon. They get the job done. If you need a good pair of in-ears for cheap, this is the one.
We are using 64 audio.
64 audio represent.
Hey.
64 audio.
Do you know how many drivers you got?
Six. Yeah, both of us.
Oh man, y'all must got money, huh?
We got the discount.
We got that 15%.
The family discount.
The family discount?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you using?
For what?
Ears. Your
Oh,
headphones.
you don't want to ask me. Because I lost my customs.
Oh.
But I'm wearing my backup.
She's the problem, guys. She's the problem.
It is me. I'm the problem. Yeah, no, these are my shorts, or well, they're falling off.
You know
but
what? Those aren't bad.
they're not bad. I mean, I'll tell you though, they never fit. I really don't like the way that they fit, so I do miss my customs, but they do well in a pinch. So.
So now my last suggestion to anybody getting in-ears, always have a low-end pair of in-ears with you no matter what you're doing. Because sometimes your custom molds, the more expensive ones, could have earwax buildup, they could have, you know, a bad cable. There just could be a whole lot of things that could happen, and you just need to have something so you're never in a place where you're just like, I have no in-ears, I have no way of hearing myself. Just know if you're gonna buy some, make sure you already have some kind of low-end one. Spend 30, 50 bucks, get some KZs or Shure 215s that you can have in your bag at all times. Now, if any of you are interested in any of the in-ears that I mentioned in today's video, they'll all be linked in the description below. And also let me know in the comments, what are your favorite in-ear monitors? If I didn't mention them on the list, let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you're notified when the newest videos are uploaded. And if you want to support this channel, feel free to check out any of my affiliate links in the description below, to where if you click and make a purchase through any of those links, this channel gets a kickback to bring you more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.